We're live! Welcome everybody. So I was just telling my friend Pam here how we start lives. So you go to my page, you refresh, and then you'll see our cute little faces. Do you see us?
And I have a question. So when I share, do I just do share now, or do I say like, okay?
You can write whatever you want, but whatever I wrote above the post will come up when you share.
I think I did it. Sarah's teaching me how to do Facebook. Yay!
Changing lives, one social event at a time. So hi everybody, Sarah Grandinetti and my friend Pam Houtley. And can I tell a little backstory about how we came to be on live together?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, there's like so much friendship history here. Pam and I get to create together with Access Consciousness, which a lot of you are aware of, and I've met her. And you guys have probably met her on a gazillion calls with bars, facilitators, CFs all around the world. Hi, Katie. Hi, Anna. Hi, Deb. Hi, Tori. I also squirrel, Pam, so I often just yell hello at everybody. So cool. These are the things you'll have to put up with.
If I go to your page, can I see what they're writing to?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Look at us. Okay. So, you just gotta turn the volume down.
Yeah. I was just like, oops, that's not gonna work.
Okay, so Paula already is calling out your background. So I asked Pam, did you go somewhere tropical and beautiful to do this live with me? You shouldn't have.
And I said, no, this is my house.
Which also made it sound like it was your backyard. Go further.
No, it's my dining room. So the person who built the house, who I bought it from, loves like greenery and stuff. And this house is in the high desert in New Mexico. So that means mountainous desert, very dry. And so it's like this, you walk through this room and there's this like lush green energy. And this is where I like to do videos because then I have this cool background.
Yeah. I'm going to need you to like take photos and put it in the well, send it to me, or can you post them in the chat? We're doing a little Facebook training here with my friend Pam as well. So there's living in the enchanted forest, says Paula. Hi Tina, and Paula says she's so jealous with heart eyes. And Anna says it's perfect. Okay, so basically, Pam and I get to create a lot together, and I'll get into that for a second. So I saw on Facebook one day that Pam had launched her new website, and I said, "Oh, girl, look at you!" Because it was just this like, I think like with all the creation, zooming, and access. Do you notice that, Pam? Like we're all moving really fast. It seems like the world's moving slow, but everything seems to be speeding up.
Yes, absolutely, yeah.
So I was like the speed, like when I saw you come out with the website and all that you're creating, I'm like, I'm so excited. How can I contribute? And I said, what if we did a live someday? And she said, okay. And then she reached out and said, let's do it. So here we are. Hi, Ivy. Hi, Victoria. Hi, Spela. So I'm gonna,
okay.
And then I'm gonna give a little intro to my friend Pam. Is that okay?
Yeah.
You're like, didn't you already do that already? Yes, but I'm doing more. So the thing that you've been such a gift to me for me in creation is, like what you're good at, what you love to do, the gift that you be, and the way that other people contribute to the whole picture. So many of us, myself included, project at the people that do the thing that you don't do as being the thing that you should be doing. Does this make sense?
Yes. You mean judging yourself?
I mean, if we must call it this. but what's so cool is like when I get to like be in a create meeting with you, you have so much awareness of all the things that I might not know, which actually empowers me to be more of the creator type of energy that I be. And we come together with these other brilliant creators and a creator, a connector movers, and then everything comes together. But it's like there's a space that you be with knowing how you create and the gift that you are that doesn't ever that really gives everybody around us like Pam's here, okay. Like things are covered. It's such a gift. So I'm so excited that you're getting like you're doing more facilitation and such things. But so our title, Creating a Life That Works for You. Will you talk a little bit about what that is, like as far as the thing I just acknowledged, like what you know about that?
Because it might surprise you to know that I didn't always know what I was good at. So, or probably, I think for all of us, like there's the things we know. Like when I was in college, I was really good at math, and I knew that, and everybody knew that, right? There's that kind of stuff. But it's like the things that you can do so easily and that you're amazing at and you take for granted. And, you know, I'd been in classes, access classes for years where Gary was like, you know, the thing that's come so easily to you that you don't value, like, what if that's something? So, so it was actually a right voice for you facilitator training that I was at probably 3 years ago. And one of the exercises they had us do was write your talent resume. And now this isn't, oh, I worked here and I did this. It's what do you bring to the world that and contribute to the world that's like uniquely you. And it was the hardest thing I have ever done. I made myself go at the lunch break into my room. I ordered, you know, room service. I'm like, I'm not going anywhere till I do this because I know it's going to be so hard to do. And I actually started putting on paper the kinds of things that I know I bring to the world. And on, you know, that vulnerability, not easy, or at least not easy for me at that time.
Will you tell me something that you wrote there?
Yeah, it was. Well, the way I kind of summed it all up was creating elegant systems that work, like that's what I bring to the world. But it was everything from like being able to go in to something, whether it's a group of people working together or a flow of systems and what has to happen, and being able to perceive like what's there, what's clunky, what could change, what can create greater, you know, how to help people who are having trouble working together actually work together, like that kind of thing. So there was stuff like that. And the important thing was I realized most of what was on that paper, I wasn't bringing into my work with access. Like, you know, there was the stuff that I was good at and everybody knew I was good at it, but there were these other things. And I was like, I would hold back and not bring this in for what reason? And it was kind of simultaneous with acknowledging that I am a leader. Like, you know, I would have told you like, yeah, in any group, you know, you're in a meeting and things aren't going well, I'll always find a way to like say something to move it along or end it or, you know, but I was trying to be the support behind rather than acknowledging I'm a leader. And I still remember in a class, it was I think it was a COP, but it was when they did the leadership, Leaders of the Future evening class. And I asked Gary a question, and I can't remember exactly what he said, but it was basically like, you're a leader, like you just are, you can't not be, you know, get out of your own way and just be it. And I realized, you know, where I had been not acknowledging my awareness and kind of going with what somebody else was like, just all these little things. And that if I actually showed up as me, everything in my life, you know, everywhere I was working with access, like it could all be greater. And, you know, which, you know, we're both being you facilitators. It's be you, change the world. So that acknowledging what works for you, what you're good at, what's like your natural capacities, to me, it allows everything to be possible. And when you're, you know, going, oh, you know, maybe I'll damp down that brightness that I don't want to presume, or like whatever you have going on in your head that convinces you that it's better to hide or be small or whatever. When you actually are willing to be it, like you can move mountains, you can inspire people, you can have more fun in life, you can like whatever it is, name it, and it will improve. So
I would love to extrapolate on something that you just spoke to as far as leader, because I get that there's a misidentification of that word, because there's okay. So there's Dane, right? So we'll just use him for a second, right? So he's definitely a leader. He's out in front. He's inviting people to possibilities. But then there are people who are like behind the scenes, but they're still leading. They're just not in the spotlight of this particular creation. So it's interesting because you said that, but I'm like wondering how many people misidentify what leader is. Like there can only be one, or there's only one in certain businesses. There's only because I know.
No.
Yeah, so I know, like, I'm definitely a leader, and I also know that when I get on a meeting and you're there, and like, you're doing and being what you do and be, there is this leader energy where I get to go and doing this relaxation of being like the creator I am or the connector I am. That's like different than when I'm in a different role. So I just would love for you to extrapolate about that kind of stuff.
So what if being a leader is being you? It doesn't mean you're out in front. It doesn't mean
what? What?
What?
Say it again. Preach.
Okay. So what if being a leader is being you? And it doesn't mean you have to be out in front, because it's like to me, a lot of what I do in Access is more the behind the scenes system stuff. Yeah, I'm there, I'm on the Zooms, I'm, times I'm leading the Zooms, but it's like, to me, it's a very supportive role. So I can do that from, I'm going to sit back here, I'm going to let other people decide what needs to happen. Maybe I'm aware of something, but I don't want to make waves, so I'm going to, just be quiet and stuff. Like, yeah, I might get some things done, and that's a contribution, but let's have a different energy. So if I'm there being me, acknowledging like my capacities and acknowledging where I don't know as much or I'm not as great. Like, I'm learning about social media. Sarah's helping me learn about social media. But, there's people who are way more amazing at it than I am. And so, but I'll also have ideas. Like, there's times where I'll be like, hey, what about this? And you guys go, great idea. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I do know something about social media. So it's that willingness to be wrong, to trust your knowing, to not need to be out in front, because that, if you need to be out in front, that has like force, and you got to prove yourself and got to get it right, or you have to judge people who are like, there's all this crap that goes with it. One of the things I love, depending on how much you've been around Access, we call our working groups gaggles, right? Like a gaggle of geese. And the idea is, one goose will be flying out in front and taking point, and then they're tired, and another goose goes out. Like, there's no, this one's the leader and you have to do everything they say. It's a collaborative communion of like creation. And
I like it.
Yes.
Creation. Go ahead.
Yeah. And it's where everyone gets to shine. Everybody gets to have the ideas, and some of them fly and some of them don't. And there's no judgment of that. It's not, I know in a lot of business situations, people are in a place where they have to watch their every move and be judged for everything they're doing. And, oh my God, I would so quit and go do something else if I had to be there. But what's awesome is when you're functioning this way, you can actually even be in like a very toxic work environment, and you're the difference. And you are the catalyst for things changing. And if nothing else, you're like this little beacon of amazing happiness and, creation, and everybody can be crazy around you. And you're like, oh, wow, I'm going to keep being me. So.
Can you talk about so that you just pointed to is that there are people that are on this live that don't work for Access and have some point of view that these tools and this type of company is only really possible in Access consciousness.
Only we can do it. Nobody else can do it.
Yeah, only conscious companies. But what I saw you say is like, so if you're being you and you're willing to fly like a gaggle, so sometimes you take the lead and sometimes you hang back and you cover other bases. And then you said somewhere in here, we said a little bit about like not having to prove, not having to get it right. So if you're there and you're not doing like the significance and the need and the proving, but it kind of has this feeling of like not playing to any polarity, like right and wrong.
Yeah.
And that when something comes up, you can like ask a question and not take a polarized point of view to have to prove anything about you, because you have an awareness of you and you've acknowledged you. So I'm wondering if like you can go back, or maybe not even go back. Don't go back. Never go back.
Never go back.
Recall. But the awareness of like what it was like to work in that type of environment and how you have the tools now. And even if you're working for Access, what you would tell someone who's like in that situation, who's like, yeah, I'm in boardrooms all the time and it's toxic and I just want to kick someone in the face.
Well, my very first like real job out of college, because again, I mentioned I was like a math major and very into math. It was at a retirement actuarial firm kind of thing. And the guy who owned it actually yelled at everybody all the time, right? There would be like someone would go into his office and he'd rant and all this stuff. And I was just sitting there like, I didn't have any Access tools, but I was like, if he ever tries that with me, I am so out of here. There is no job I require enough to be treated that way. And, but I would say I got through that job by being quiet and, watching my own back and, trying to watch everybody else's backs. If I had what I had available then was I'll leave if this gets bad, which is, it's a strategy, but it's just one limited strategy. If I was in that environment now, what I know is, and I was kind of naturally doing it, but I didn't know what I was doing. But I was being an energy of don't mess with me. He never did in 3 years, right? And that I always have choice. So, that I knew I would choose to not have that job and go create something else rather than being stuck there in something that doesn't work for me. So there's things like that. And the work I did do in an environment after I got introduced to Access tools was work in a hospital, because I'm a licensed social worker. And I was looking for, okay, how can I create more money for Access classes? And somebody asked me to job share a social work position at a hospital. And I did it. I actually loved it. I had been kind of doing my own thing for years. I was like, I have colleagues. I get to have lunch with people. I'm not just on my own all the time. But even then, I never bought it as essential or vital to have that job. So I always had choice, and I could choose how I was with people. So when everybody else would be freaking out, because a hospital is like trauma, drama, freak out all the time, right? And I would walk in going, who does this belong to? Return it to sender, and how much space can I be? And I, like, everybody loved working with me, and I was the person they don't have to, be guarded around or complain to, or it's you being that energy. No matter what's going on around you, it creates something different for the people. And so whether it's somebody's confronting you and you're interesting point of view, so you're not fighting back, you're just like, wow, okay, what's possible here? You get the hit in your head of, let me ask this question, let me say this, what's going to actually create something greater, rather than having to react to their crap being directed at you.
Yeah. I love that. And I like the different tools that we can use, and we can be out there and not be so like reactionary. And the thing that you just said right now, I heard it a million times. We've all heard it. I promise you, we've all heard it. But when you said, I knew I always had choice, I saw choice like a little buddy, like a little pocket pal, like for the first time, not like what choice do I make, like something in the ethers, like saw my little buddy Choice. He's just sitting here. He's on my shoulder right now. I don't know. I always had choice, and so having choice, like empower. Like, how many of us think we don't have choice? Like, I know I was one of those people. I thought my money decided, my marriage status decided, my kid mothering whatever status decided, and so there was no choice in my universe, and I just had to live with what I had already created. And there's something that you just gave me, like a flash picture in the head, that like if you just have your buddy Choice with you all the time, you can look at any situation and be like, yeah, but I don't have to keep this job. Yeah, I don't have to stay in this relationship. I might still choose to, but I don't have to because I got my buddy Choice. So
right.
That
exactly. Yeah. Your buddy Choice is always there. And the only thing that gives you no choice is you thinking you have no choice.
Yeah.
And making, well, for example, if I made what everybody thinks of me extremely important, then I feel like I have no choice. I can't do anything too off the grid of what's normal, or I'm going to get judged. So, and I spent years of my early childhood, teenage years functioning from that, right? Where it's like looking out for what everybody thinks and trying to make everybody happy, and, like thinking I had no choice. But what I know is I actually did. And because I'm the one who's making what everybody else thinks important and vital and essential. And if I come out of that point of view, then it's like, oh, well, if I choose this, what's it going to create? And maybe it'll make some people unhappy, but it's also going to create greater for me. And like, you can actually perceive what future you're creating with your choice, rather than being at the effect of everything. I can remember, so I'm someone who spent years in therapy. You might not know that, but I was had a very miserable, time as a child and a teenager. And I can remember talking about feeling like I'm a leaf being batted around by the river. Like I have no ability to determine where I'm going to go and what's going to happen. And it was taking that focus from outside and what everybody else thinks, and my job in the world is to please everybody, to what do I know? What would I like to create? What do I get is possible? Like, even again, before I had all these tools, it was that allowed me to be the person who's saying, oh, this is something I'd like to change in my life. Boom, I'm changing it. I'm not stopping till I find some way to create it differently. And that, that's what led me to Access, because I was seeking all these different possibilities. But it's that difference was me and my points of view, what I believed about myself, what I would allow myself to be. It wasn't that somebody outside of me said, Pam, now you can be yourself. And I'm giving you permission. And from here on out, you're going to be yourself and you'll have more power and potency. It was my choice.
Yeah.
So
I'd love to tell you. So Kathy White, who we totally love, just says that's huge, Pam. She said, not living at the effect of others. Huge for me anyways. Recovering people pleaser here, AKA a self-limiter. Pock and pod, y'all. I love it when Kathy throws a y'all in. It makes me real happy. I love her y'alls. Yeah, absolutely. I will forever have that little thing that you just gave me. You just hear it when you hear it. And so many people have said to me, people will be like, well, what do I do now? Or give me the question, like in facilitation, give me the question that's going to unlock all this. And I'll do the thing that I hate Gary does to me. He'll just be like, choice. And I'm like, oh, but tell me what choice, damn it. But what's so cool is that the acknowledgement of choice is a choice. Like, so like to not have choice is also a choice. And then to acknowledge you have choice can just change just the fact that you know that you're choosing the thing that you're not changing. Just, I don't know.
Exactly.
I'll break it down up here in a different way.
Well, and, you know, I think of like, you know, all these different tools we have, it's like to like peel away what's in the way of knowing you just can choose. And then I can remember, I mean, you get it when you get it, right? So I've been going to Access classes for 12 years and I can't remember exactly when it was, but maybe 5 or 6 years ago. So I'd been doing it quite a while, right? And at a class, Gary's like, choice creates. I was like, what? Wait a second. What? It's not, you know, choice creates the future the way you want it to be. It's not choice creates, you know, like if you choose right, then you're going to create the right life. It's every choice you make creates. So what are you creating with your choice? And if you don't like what you're creating with your choice, you choose something else. But it hit me. And I mean, for days I was like, oh my God, choice creates. I was like, I say to everybody, choice creates. They're like, yeah, Pam, yeah. You know, like we've been hearing this, but I heard it in a whole different way. So
yeah, I've been watching my choices like actually the totally different future for an amount of time. But what you just gave me, because I've been doing an acknowledgement series with like 115 of my greatest friends, and one of the things that, well, it being an acknowledgement series, is how much we don't self-acknowledge and actually look at what's available to us. So the acknowledgement of choice just changed like one little molecule. So choice is like, say, the action point, the step, okay, cool. And like even throwing on this blue shirt before I jumped on with you today, that was a choice, you know, like, so we make all these choices that we don't acknowledge, but just the step right before we actually make a new choice is like to acknowledge what choices are available, or like to acknowledge that we even have choice. Because a lot of people are like, I'm in this dead end relationship, I'm abused, I have no money, I hate my job, I hate, you know, whatever, I might hate my kids, I don't know, I want out, but I have no choice because I have no power. And so the no choice creates the no power. But literally just going, oh, I actually could walk out the door. Like, I'm not tied to a bed right now. If you are tied to a bed, I hope you're having a good time tied to a bed. If you're tied to a bed in not a fun way, then I hope you get freed from that tied to a bed. Okay.
Well, that makes me think of, so when I first took, you know, Bars Foundation and Level 1, which was what they called the classes that are now Bars and Foundation. And I had the recordings, and I was working out of my.
Did you have the recording? Hold on, Pam. Did you have the recordings, or you had the like the CDs? That you
I had CDs. I had CDs, and I put them on my iPod.
I just had to clear that up.
And so where I live actually is very similar to this, only not green. But basically, where I live, you can step outside and hike down into a canyon or up on a mountain from just about 5 minutes away from anywhere. And I would wake up and I'd like get kind of contracted, and there's all the life stuff and the people around me. And I would go hike the mountain behind my house and listening to the Access class. And for however long it took until the space I was being changed. And sometimes it would be 20 minutes and sometimes it would be 2 hours. Sometimes I went out at 2 a.m. Like, if there was moonlight and I could see the path, I would just, whatever it took. And so to me, what that was is choice, right? It's saying, I know this is possible. I can be this amazing space, that you get introduced to when you get your bars run and you go to those Access classes. This is possible. And so if I'm being anything but this, that's me choosing limitation. And what can I choose right now to get me out of this space of limitation and choosing and being a different space? And so, like to me, it's like when you start to contract, it doesn't matter what tool you use. It doesn't matter what question you ask. Use a tool, ask a question, anything that starts to shift from that contraction to being more space. Because as soon as there's a little space, you can go, oh, wait, who does this belong to? It's not mine. Okay, then there's more space. Or pod and pock everywhere, I believe this. And then there's more space. And you just, doesn't matter It's not right tool for you, right? It's use a tool. Any of them will work. And it's that choice to use a tool rather than staying in the funk. Yeah.
One of the things you say, choose a tool, anything that'll work, anything that you get will work. It's so interesting because how many of us also keep going to the tool that we don't totally get, isn't completely clear, but we're so determined. It's almost like I saw myself in recent years, like creating a crap pie so that I could use my new tool. Like if you get a new broom, you know what I mean? You like go break up, like if you were to tear a bunch of paper and throw confetti around so that you can use your broom. So I would create a new tool, and I wasn't real clear about it, so I had to create a poo pie so that I knew whether or not this thing worked. And so what I'll give you guys is if there's a tool that whatever. My favorite one is like, if I were truly being me here, what would I choose? So truly being me here, what would I be aware of? Generally, it's something that's obnoxious and fun that gets me back to the place that like a lot of people go to in nature. I'm a little bit more chaotic than nature. So when I'm being that amount of like out of control, chaos and joy, I know I'm being me. So I'll choose something wild and wacky and then be like, okay, there I am. Now when I look back at this thing, now what do I get to see and be aware of and uncover? And now I just become a little consciousness detective using my other tools to figure out, what it is I'd like to change and choose. And so, like you said, I love the it's not right tool for you. I'm pretty sure that should be a call that you do next.
Thank you for the idea.
You're welcome. I'll help promote it.
Okay.
I absolutely adore you. I'm so grateful for all the spaces that we've walked through since we've known each other. Like I am more and more grateful that we're here now, and I'm grateful for the force of nature you be in everything that gets created. Like if you're ever in an access meeting and you're like, someone's like, call Pam, get Pam on the phone, message Pam, Pam will know. I get so lucky to know Pam. So before I go, I want to, before we go, I would love to have you talk a little bit about what you have coming up this week.
Okay. So, like you mentioned, I launched myself as a facilitator. I mean, basically when I started with Access, I was a facilitator in 5 months and was facilitating lots of classes and doing things. And then somewhere along the way, I let it be that, and I have an inkling of where this was coming from, but I let it be that I was too busy. Oh, I'm way too busy to facilitate classes, and I would put classes on my calendar, and then I'd be like, I never told anyone I was having this class. And I think this all gets back to what we were talking about of like leadership and being you and hiding or not hiding, that there was some amount of being a leader and being out in the world that I was okay with. And then there was a lot that I wasn't. And so I had a good excuse because I'm really busy. So I'm too busy to facilitate. And I kind of got over that. And or at least I've started to.
Yay for the world.
Yes. And so, so now I'm facilitating classes again. And one of the things, Simone kind of made a challenge to us CFs in a call in January, like, what if we were all facilitating foundation every month? Like, what would that create in the world? So I may not be doing it every month, but I've got one this weekend and I have one next month. And we'll see. Some months I'm hopefully going to be traveling too much if we can ever get back to that. And let's see, I'm currently doing a Getting Out of Debt Joyfully. No, that's not it. How to Become Money Workbook class.
Close.
I'm going to do a lady book club because I started reading more of that, and it's like every page there's something I'm just like, oh my God, this is amazing. So I want to go through it with other people and get to explore that. And I have an Access Business and Money class coming up next month. So.
Damn, woman. But I feel like as you're the girl that goes to Target and just pushes the red cart around with nothing, like you don't know why you're there. You're just gonna, I got a cart and I got to put stuff in it. So I feel like you got a website and you're like, oh, we got to put some stuff in the website.
Stuff in it, yeah. And I will say I have a gorgeous website. I can say that because I'm not the one who designed it. I had some amazing people, and it was so cool, Sarah. Like when they showed me the first design, And it was like, Chelsea was like, okay, just, feel free to say. And I was like, I literally, I was like, give me a moment. And I was pod-pocking myself. And I was like, pod. And I don't know if she was freaking out or not. I was like, just give me a moment. And I was like, pod-poc. And I said, you're putting me out in the world the way I can be, not the way I would have done it myself, because I would have put me in the world in a way that was very safe and not challenging me too much and not asking me to be more. And, these amazing women who designed this website for me, they saw like what I'm capable of and what's possible and put that into actual visual.
Is it Pam? Is it your name?
It's pamhodling.com. Yes.
All right, I'm gonna just put it in so that if I can type, then people can just click on it. Watch out, people.
Watch out here. I'm not hiding anymore.
No, we're hiding. I love that. I just launched a new website yesterday, and that rebirth, refresh, that I feel like, it must be what the babies feel like right when they come out and they get spanked on the butt, because that's how I felt yesterday when Wes did mine, and Wes Pullen, and he was like, are we ready to push go on this? I feel like we've been ready to push go, but we've been doing labor, breathing, for a week. I'm like, let's just go. And he's like, okay. We went, and then I got to have lots of people spank my butt, and it was fun.
So, well, I'm going to go check out your website.
Kaz says, Pam, we are coming for you. Timothy joined recently. Hi, Timothy. In a good way, not coming for you in a scary way. Don't worry. Kathy says, amen, Sister Pam. I hear people love your classes. Wink, wink.
Yay.
So there's some really cool stuff in the chat. Yolanda says, I'm saving this live to rewatch many times. Wow, the gems that are here. So
thank you. Awesome.
I'm excited to see what you continue to create. And if there's more that I can contribute, will you please let me know?
Yes. And if I have people who sign up live and online for my foundation this weekend, I'm going to be calling you and be like, Sarah, I bought this stuff. How do I do this?
Okay. Done. And also, I'm going to start on the graphics when we get off this for Right Tool for You.
Okay.
And it's going to say at the top, it's not actually called, but it'll be a real small print, Right Tool for You. It will be the big print. And then people will be like, Right Tool for You, what's that? And they'll have to lean in, and then they'll meet you behind over there with all your verbiage that you're going to put to it, figuring out what it is. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Trick them. And then then they'll come. Okay. I adore you. I wish you mucho glory this weekend.
Thank you so much, Sarah, for having me on here and for helping me find my way in social media. Anytime.
I'm just a text, a phone call, a Skype, a WhatsApp, a messenger away.
Right.
Or call.
All of those. It'd be like, Sarah, help.
You could also call. That's weird to say, but you can also call. All right. Huge gratitude, baby. I'll talk to you soon.
Bye, everybody. Thank you for joining us.
Bye.